joining us now from the RSS, Rakesh Sinha, and Colonel V.N. Thapar. Colonel Thapar is an army veteran. His son fought bravely for us during the Kargil war, and we lost him during the Kargil war. I'd like to thank both of you very much for joining us. Rakesh ji, I know there has been an explanation, but my point is, what was the necessity of making this remark in the first place? We have an army, they are trained to fight. The training process goes on for a long time. Why did the RSS feel the need to make this remark?
No, it's not a question any aspersion on army. Neither it is a comparison between the army and the RSS. Mohan Bhagwat ji categorically and very simply said that the kind of discipline we have, the kind of patriotism we are imparting our Swayamsevaks, that lead our Swayamsevak to be prepared for any sacrifice for the country at any time in a given moment. That is the core thing. And he said that if the army has to create a battalion, a new battalion, then it will take months, because army is not NGO. It is a governmental organization. It has to advertise. It has to recruit the people.
But then how would the RSS train an army battalion?
No.
Or a battalion of its own?
No, I am telling you, because it is this ultimate sacrifice for the country. You know, in 1948, when there was a Pakistan attack.
But sir, this is not a,
it's
not a force, sir.
Vishnu, when 1948, he said it is a parivarik organization, it is a family organization.
It is a cultural organization,
yes,
is the RSS. RSS prides itself as a cultural organization. It's okay. Why are you talking about raising a militia?
I'm not, he is not talking raising militia. He
says in 3 days
I am just giving you that in 1962, Jawaharlal Nehru appealed for all citizens to join army, and it was the RSS which got recruited.
The RSS does it on a daily basis whenever there is a natural disaster. Yes. They travel all over the country, but they are not a fighting force.
No, nobody says fighting force, but if needed.
3 din ke andar we'll raise a force.
Vishnu, in 1965 there were 22 days war, and that time in Delhi, war is not merely you are going to border, you are fighting the gun. War is also you are supporting army. That you see.
How do you need to support the army?
You just see 1965 when Lal Bahadur Shastri appealed, entire Delhi's traffic, water supply, electricity supply.
That has nothing. No, you're changing the subject.
No, not changing the subject.
Of course, you're changing the subject.
Not changing.
This has nothing to do with what he said today.
One soldier fights, 5 people back him.
Right. But when he says in 3 days he'll be able to raise a unit, he is talking about a fighting force.
No, if you don't understand the spirit of the thing, and if Rahul Gandhi is bound to and others are bound to create a controversy, then they can create controversy on my eyes and nose also. This is just like that. Mohan Bhagwat simply said, he is not comparing, he is simply saying that there is a discipline, there is a dedication, our Swayamsevak. He was just explaining the RSS culture.
Colonel Thapar, I know you don't want to get into the politics of that. Yes. I appreciate that. What does it, what goes into training? Forget an officer, a Jawan. How well trained are our young men when they become Jawans?
All right. First of all, I want to say one point. When the crisis situation is there, you know, when the Laos, Dien Bien Phu and battles were going on, people were picked up by the French army straight from the colleges, para-dropped for the first time into that battle of Dien Bien Phu, first battle of Dien Bien Phu. Now that is such an extraordinary, very extraordinary circumstances. But here we are talking about support to the army. Army has supporting units. They've got medical, they've got everything. And should all that fail, then of course, you know, but as yet that kind of a situation
in the battle of Dien Bien Phu that you're talking about, French forces were massacred.
Right. So that was the time when...
That just goes to show that para-dropping people into battle is something that doesn't work. You need a trained force.
Yes, but as I said, that training a man for battle is a drawn-out process. Not only from a civilian, he has to be converted into a military man. He has got to be given certain skills. He has got to be imparted that discipline. He has got to be motivated into, he is going to be integrated into the team, and this takes a long time. It has got, army has got its ethos, army has got its tradition, army has got its history to stand up to, the flag for which they stand up to. So what I am trying to say is that, for example, Maratha Light Infantry has just celebrated its 250th anniversary. So that long history is there, which motivates a person to do things in a particular manner. And the training itself is very rigorous, and that has to be gone through.
Why doesn't the RSS stay true to what it has always done? Help during natural disasters, help in humanitarian areas. Why not deal with? Why get into the rhetoric of हम 3 दिन के अंदर ज़रूरत पड़े तो हम भी हमारे discipline है इसलिए we'll also manage to do something like this.
This is one of the dimensions.
I'm just trying to understand why was he saying this.
Vishnu, you are right that during the Morvi, during the Latur, or during the Uttarakhand crisis, army and RSS Swayamsevak worked. That time also someone could question that RSS not trained like the natural disaster, people are trained for that. It is a dedication, it is a patriotism. If required, what he said, in the ultimate crisis, it was just explaining ourselves in an ultimate crisis.
Does he see the RSS as a potential fighting force?
No, suppose it required. Bhagat Singh was not an army man, but he fought for the country.
So you would fight with arms. The RSS would fight with arms for the country.
If required, then we will go to the army for training. Without training,
the army can just train you overnight. You can't, because there's a process.
It would be better. It would be easier for us, those who are trained, those who are disciplined, those who are doing drilling.
There are people outside the RSS who are also disciplined.
Yes.
So my point, you've answered my question. You've actually told me that he foresees a scenario, potential scenario, where people from the RSS can be trained to fight within a period of 3 days, hopefully with the army's training.
No, it's a question that from within the RSS Swayamsevaks, a troop can be raised by the army for the support according to the potentiality of the people, according to their capacity, according to their own confidence level. Because that during I told you that during 1965 war, it was army. We supported army entire 22 days. It was the Congress government. It was not the question of Congress government or Narendra Modi government.
But not as a fighting force.
Means when you say that
there is no difference on
when you say that we are fighting for the country, that doesn't mean you are fighting with the gun.
So that's an important tank. So that will great.
So you should go by the spirit of the language rather than going, because Rahul Gandhi and others had to create a controversy, and people know what Mohan Bhagwat said. Common people has nothing to do that. Common people know what Mohan Bhagwat stands, and Mohan Bhagwat is one person who speaks every word, weighing the word, and
well, this word has been interpreted this way with Twitter trends saying apologize RSS.
Mohan Bhagwat in his more than 30 years public life, he has never used a single word.
So you are saying,
because
let's put an end to the controversy. I think that's in everybody's interest. You are basically saying, sir, that there is no question of the RSS picking up arms.
No, if look, first sacrifice is a term.
You are answering my question.
No, sacrifice is a term which is equally applicable to Mahatma Gandhi's ahimsa
and Bhagat Singh's
question. Hinsa. No, RSS can fight for the country.
How do you fight? You saw those doctors fighting for the life of a child. The RSS fights in a humanitarian disaster. You try and pull out people.
You give me 20 seconds. In 1948,
are you going to pick up arms or not?
In 1948, when there was crisis in Kashmir after Pakistani attack, 400 RSS Swayamsevaks were recruited by the army to fight.
So that is what you're saying now? The RSS should be ready to fight?
Yes, in that case we can fight.
I honestly have not heard of that story, but I'll take your account.
I'll take your account. In 1948, 400 RSS workers were recruited. They were trained to fight.
How long were they trained for? Because the period of training a Jawan is an extensive period.
He rightly pointed out the French crisis. Look, it all depends on the circumstances. It all depends on the.
So you are not ruling out the possibility that in a dire situation we could have the RSS as a fighting force.
There cannot be any substitute of the Indian Army. Indian Army is very capable.
Right. So, but then why don't you say no to my question?
We have great respect for the Indian Army. We have confidence on Indian Army. We know that Indian Army is a religion, is a patriotism, and we feel pride of the Indian Army's patriotism.
Colonel, last word to you. Yeah. Do you believe the Indian Army in a war scenario needs to be the first line and the last line of defense, or can there be other militias, other forces also?
No, I believe that the responsibility for the defense of the country lies squarely and exclusively with the Indian Army, and we are quite capable of looking after the front line and the rear line. This is a fact, and we should not diminish through these kind of arguments or send a message, coded message that possibly somewhere the army will be wanting. It won't. It will do its role, what is assigned to it.
Vishnu, I just heard Rahul Gandhi's.
Since you said final, my only request to the political parties, political leaders, and to the media is to please keep the army out of this.
Keep the army out.
Last, Rahul Gandhi raised the question. I think Rahul Gandhi should apologize for distorting Mohan Bhagwat's statement.
All right. Point taken. Thank you both very much for joining us today. It's been a remarkable day. You saw that life and death struggle. It's also been such a sad day as we remember the sacrifices of those soldiers who died in Jammu. There was also a terror attack in Srinagar where a brave Jawan of the CRPF died as well. We're out of time. Goodbye.